day. What's going on, people? Welcome to Every Man is a Millionaire. This is your host, your hustling godfather, Glendon Cameron. Today, we're going to talk about business and money, how to do marketing 101. You got to know your numbers to make money in business. Now, this is going to be a little bit off the cuff. I wasn't going to do this live stream tonight, but I felt it needed to be done because there is rapid misinformation out here in the marketplace. I'm going to deal with some stuff that will be offensive, and it's going to challenge some of your common beliefs. Some of you, not everybody, but some of you. Um, when you want to sell something to a market, there's two things that you need to know. Is your market growing or dying, and how big it is? This is what you need to know. Is your market growing or dying? Then the second thing you need to know is to produce a mechanism or a device to communicate with your market in a manner that they understand. So, for those of you who are interested, we've got Black Friday special number 10, Uncivilized Profits. Now, before you go click and see the price and have your mind blown, this is for someone that already has a business up and running. It's a lot to it. I'll talk about that later. We're going to start with Michael Jordan, Air Jordan, the shoes. There are many, many people who are upset with Michael Jordan because he does not support the people that support him. Hold on a second. Just hold on a second. Minnie. I'm going to show you something. And once again, we got to get in these numbers. Ready? Let's see. Get into some. All right. Cool. Now, this is fast and loose. I haven't had time to deeply vet it, so they may be off. And for those people who want to, like, I say 90% of the stuff right, and it's like, well, you got one thing wrong. Gotcha. Y'all can not participate. All right. So what I've put up here is these are the number of young people in the United States between age 14 and 24. It's a 10-year gap, right? Now, what I didn't tell you, these are white kids. These are, because let me go ahead and show you the search query. How many white teenagers are there, right? Now, why do I want to do this? Well, hold on. We're about to go ahead and cook with some gas. Ready? Now, 42 million black people. Okay. 42 million black people. And 47 million white kids. Now, why is this important? I've said this for years, and many of you will probably unsubscribe from this channel, but for the folks who want to make some money, for the folks who want to get proper information, for the folks who want to be doing things correctly, Michael Jordan's demographic and the people that put the most money in his pocket were white young kids, not black teenagers. There was just not enough of them. I've known this for years. I've said this for years, and people will challenge. And the reason I'm coming up here, because one of the viewers actually did not believe that the black population is like roughly 42, 44 million people. There's supposedly be more of us. Now, here is something that many of you don't know. I used to work for the Census Bureau. I actually know how this stuff is done. They have people who fill out the forms, and a lot of people don't. So they send people out to count the population. And for folks who are hiding and who are not counting, you're costing your county money and resources. So I am pretty sure those numbers are pretty clear. And there's 17% Hispanics. So between these two groups, we're talking about 90 million people. The United States has a population of 330 million. Who are those other 200 and some million people? They're mostly white people. How did we get to these high numbers? Immigration. Once again, how did we get? Because a lot of folks don't know there wasn't that many white people above and beyond black folks here. But due to Ellis Island and the massive white immigration project, this drastically increased their numbers, which is why they don't want Hispanic immigration and immigration from African countries, Caribbean countries, South America. It's a little daunting. It's a process. But if you wanted to move here from Europe, not a problem, not much of a problem at all. Now, with this in mind, because what this stemmed off of, and I'm going to delete your comments if you start acting up, is I said if you were selling a product, would you want to sell your product to a smaller market or a larger market? And the product was you. So as a black man, if you only date women, you have 7-8% of the population available to you. If you're a black man and you want to date others, you have 50-something% of the population available to you. A lot of people did not like that because it's stunningly true. So if you had a business, would you sell to a smaller population? Sometimes it does make sense to sell to a smaller population. Ferrari sells to a smaller population, Lamborghini. Porsche actually doesn't, because Porsche is owned by Volkswagen and Audi. So they sell a lot of cars under that flag, their brand or their brands, their portfolio of brands. But when you have a small audience, they better be rich because you're not going to make any money. Honda, how many of you guys had Suzuki's, Hondas in the 70s and 80s? Have you noticed you don't see those bikes like you used to? When I was a kid, every third boy or fourth had a motorcycle. It was a Honda, and then these Suzukis came and these pocket rockets came. And all of a sudden, they disappeared because people have aged out of those entertainment devices. So those motorcycles. So all the sales of those motorcycle manufacturers just dropped, except for foreign motorcycles because they were better and people liked the quality. It is always in the numbers. It is always in the number. And when I said that, a lot of quote pro-blacks, hoteps got mad. Now, I'm going to give you the truth, whether you like it or not. Black people did not enrich all white people. Most white people did not even own slaves. Now, the owning of slaves in these institutions, such as Harvard and colleges and slave stocks, this is true, but it enriched the top 1%, which is not most white people. Most white people are just as poor as black folks. So with that, I angered hoteps and pro-blacks because, see, if you want to be a successful pro-black, someone that gets money from the black community, you got to lie and scare people. You can't tell them the truth. You can't tell them that you could start a business and white people will buy from you. You can't tell them that, hey, young man, you're 16 years old. You got an ideal in your heart. You could turn that into a business. You could become a millionaire. You must use fear tactics to keep people in line. So I am not that guy, and I'm saying this, and I'm having this conversation with you guys because I get a lot of people. I get people from every hue, every country who come to this channel. But when I get my black folks, there are many of you who think I think like you, and I don't. I just don't. I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in separating myself. And I'm about to give you something else based upon the research that I have done for my business. Because if you're going to do marketing, you must research your audience. Many people start businesses, get into selling something, and have actually done no market research. What they've done is studied what other people have done, which isn't true market research. You're just bird dogging off someone else's work without knowing their primary intent. And this is why most people who copy other people fail, because they're not doing it for the same reason that people who started to do it did it, if that makes sense. So I've been saying this for years, and some of you have seen these come true in your own families. What is going to happen? And this is going to anger every pro black and hotepreneur. There will be no mass community effort of black people. What's going to happen is the progressive black people are going to hook up with the progressive white people, the progressive Asians, the progressive Jews, the progressive whatever. And they're all going like my neighborhood. One of the reasons I'm doing where the rich people in Atlanta live is to let people know before they become indoctrinated with the hotep stuff that I ain't the only black person out here. I am not the 10th. I'm not the 20th. I'm not the 30th. I'm not the 4th. There is a gang of black folks out here, and they're the progressive black folks because they can't live amongst the mass of black people because they would be robbed, insulted, and attacked. They can't live there. They got too much. There's no way they can. You can't take and this thing of these failed experiments here in Atlanta. You have South DeKalb, which beautiful homes. You can get a 6-bedroom, 8-bath home in DeKalb County for $250K, sitting on 2-3 acres. You can. Why? There ain't no jobs out there. So you live out there, you're gonna have yourself a 35, 40, or an hour commute one way for that cheap property because there ain't no jobs out there. The reason that the property values are high up here is if I had a job, if I was like I played around with it, I would be either a creative director or a VP of marketing. I could drive over here to these Twin Towers, which are like 5 miles away, and be at work. There ain't no jobs out there. That's why those communities. And recently, I did a property search of the South Side. Those prices have not recovered since the recession in many of those subdivisions. They're just getting where they need to be, and we're about to have another one. So if you are a person of means, you've worked hard, you've accomplished some stuff, you want to live in a nice neighborhood, and you want the amenities that come with that nice neighborhood. You can get those houses in South DeKalb. You can get those houses in the West End. You can get them all day long. You just ain't gonna get the amenities. Like in the West End, you can be close to the stadiums. If you like going to the stadiums, you like going to concerts, you can get those amenities. So a big part of this is perception. When you start to peel back the numbers and you start to really look at the numbers, many truths will emerge. Going back to me, I'll be back on point. Yeah, there will be no mass collective movement of black people at whole. There's no mass collective movement, even with white people. GOP is splinter, Tea Party, the Federalists. There's so many different factions. They don't even agree on everything. It ain't happening. And also, I responded to someone, and I'm not going to put it out there, but if every black person did the best they could, raise their kids, collectively, that is what will move the group forward. Not people whining and complaining about the successful black folks not doing something for the unsuccessful black folks. I'm just being real with y'all. So it is interesting. All right. So let's get into the marketing advice. Um, Market. One of the reasons I created H Undergrad is I knew that we were in a period of job eradication. We're losing jobs, they're disappearing, they're not going away. So people are going to have to learn how to hustle and start businesses. This will not be, I just want to do this right. They're going to have to do it to live. Probably 10 years off before this really starts to catch fire. So I'm put together a collection of courses to teach people how to start businesses and hustle. Because I know the marketplace is here to a degree, but it's going to grow. It's going to rapidly expand about 5, 6 years from now. It's just going to pop. And I'm going to be ready because I'm doing the work now. What did I tell you? Start a business now so you can reap the rewards later. I make great money now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna make sick money in 6, 8, 9, 10 years from now. It's gonna be sick because the market is growing. First thing you do before you sell any product or service is you look at the marketplace and go, who in this marketplace is going to buy what I want to sell? How many of them are there? And is this market shrinking or is this market growing? Because if you get into the market when it's growing, you just print money. But if you make a mistake and go off someone else's work and don't understand that the market is shrinking, you go out of business. That's the real deal. That's if you get nothing else from this live stream, that is the most important thing I just told you. How big is your market? Is it shrinking or growing? Because if it's shrinking, you can still make some money, but you can't make heavy capital investments for the long-term future because there ain't no future. So you can still make money. But if your market is growing, like this generation after the millennials, it's like 90 million, the biggest generation that we've ever had anywhere in the world. They're going to influence so many markets, services, and everything. Housing, transportation, they're going to impact everything. Manufacturing, they're going to bring manufacturing back because there's going to be so many of them that they're going to have to manufacture products. It's going to be a game-changing demographic generation, game changer. So once you have established what your marketplace is, now you got to have a device to communicate with your marketplace. You know where they are, you know who they are. How do you communicate with them? That's like super important. It is super important. Many people here, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they know how to communicate with people, but they don't know how big their marketplace is. And then when they start losing money, they're like, I'm working hard, Danny. I'm working 12 hours a day. I'm working 14 hours a day. I'm working 20 hours a day. But the money's going down because your market is shrinking. Your market may have aged out of that product. Your market may have aged out of that service. This is why I went from courses to creating a school because that market is going to expansion. I mean, it's just going to pop like you won't believe. And that's what we're going to get into with uncivilized profits. One of the things that happens to people is a fundamental lack of understanding how fast you can build a company. There are many people who want to build a company just like that. Now, going back to me and my company, I'm in no hurry to build it. There's problems. Customer service is a big problem that I'm going to address early 2019. Looking for someone because it's a huge problem. And this is why I'm not trying to grow super fast because I already know there's a problem. And until that problem solved, it doesn't make any sense to like start to pour gas on the fire. It makes no sense. But once again, I've done this before and I know. Also, it gives me time to look at the market. It gives me time to question people. It gives me time. It's like, oh, this is what people need. So I'm doing research while still building a company. That's one of the things that you have to do. And this is why you need a hustle to pay your bills while you build your company, because it's going to take time. It's going to take time. I know, yeah, you hear all these stories of this company, this guy in the dorm room, he built this $80 million company. He sold it for $100 million when he was 26. And now he's got big booty Betty. He got a Phantom. And, he does YouTube videos doing dirt wheelies in his Lambo. That's atypical. That's not normal. That's not scalable. It's not at all. Let's see. There we go. Oh, a big thing that happens with your marketplace. Like, let's go back to some of my businesses. Remember Picture with a Pooch? That market didn't exist back then. Great idea, but that market didn't exist. That's why it was so hard when I was putting those ads in the AJC and nobody was calling. I got so frustrated because I didn't do any market research. I was just like, this seems like a good idea. You got a dog. You like your dog. Picture with your pooch. I was years early for that. And this is another thing. There are many of you who have great ideals, but they're too early. Like VR is just starting to come around. VR has been out for 10 years. There was all these things that were going to happen, but it didn't happen. So a big part of marketing is research, 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 research. When I was having my conversation earlier today, you can go on to Disruptive Mail and check out that stream, which prompted this conversation. Whenever I tell you something, it's not because I read it. Most of the time, it's I've done it, or I've actually, like the 200 women that I talked to for the writing of the book that I never finished writing. You know what kind of research that is? You know how long that took? And I got all kinds of knowledge and stuff from it. And I have people who have not even talked to 50 women in that regard who went like, well, Glennon, I feel, and the key word there is I feel that you're wrong. Not that I'm wrong because, well, statistically, I went out, I did this, and then no, these are not those kind of conversations. More than likely, they are dick size contests because I had to get rid of some because typically when people come at me, it's either low key or they're just overt with it. And typically low key, like someone put up that the wealthy black people were the help of the rich white people. Help. It's just like, yeah, because also with the pro blacks, if you are a well-to-do black person and you're not dedicating your life to helping black people come up, you're a sellout because you made it and you should help everyone else. Now, what if I told you guys about finding mentors? Typically, when you're running and someone else is running and they see you running, you talk. You sitting at home playing around with your brand new track shoes, but you don't put them on. Not much gonna happen. So that act is felonious, and we're getting to a point where the reality of people's decisions are going to start coming home to roost like roosters. You're going to start seeing a lot of truths. You're going to start seeing a lot of things. You're going to start seeing many things. Because when I said that you're the product and you can sell yourself into a smaller market or to a larger market, like pop, lights start popping all over the place. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. I never thought of it like that, Glendon. Yes, when you're dating, you are a product and you're selling yourself to a woman. I mean, that's what many people don't seem to understand. Many people do not understand that when you're applying for a job, you are a product. You want to be an employee. You want them to buy you. When you start looking at that, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I need to do things differently. I need to present. I need to learn how to close. You could close the people on you. you can close a deal on you could close an interview if you know what you're doing. So, all right. Now, part of the marketing, and I'm gonna give you a really good example of this one. Um, God, what is the name of this? Okay. All right, I'm fine. Into the gloss. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a case study. We like case studies of marketing efforts. All right. Now, come on. There we go. Into the Gloss is a blog that was started about 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And her name, let me see. I think it's Emily. All right. She is the one who founded it. Let's see what she got. All right. So she was real big into fashion and all this other stuff. So she started this blog, Into the Gloss, and she worked on this blog for 3 years, almost four. She was writing a blog. She was doing write-ups. She was getting tons and tons of feedback, market case that she was getting all kinds of juicy, juicy information. So she went to, let's see, Emily West. Sure. All right, let's see. All right. Uh First round. I'm trying to figure it out because now this would be the seed round. Seed round. Okay. Um, just based on her blog and all of her numbers, she went to this company and they gave her they stroked her a $2 million check with no product or nothing. 2 million. $2 million check. Let's see. Because it's a venture capital. Let's see. Because this is good information. So give me a minute. Emily West. Let's see. Because you got to put in the right term. Startup capital. All right. So, because this would be some good to read up on because she did it correctly. She did it right. Nicole Quinn. There's this lady. She's has a serious track record. She invested in the Dollar Shave Club and some other stuff. I don't think this is her. No, this isn't her. This is one of them. But she was able to walk in and get a check for 2 million bucks with no product. I mean, but her research, and I'm going to tell you, her research was so good that when Glosser, because Into the Gloss is the blog, and this is the product thing. Glosser sells out every time they put out a product because her research was so awesome from this blog that she really knew what women wanted. She knew exactly what they wanted because they told her over 3 years. Now, if you want to start a business that makes millions, this is one of the things you're going to have to do. And this is something that a lot of people just don't want to hear. She was working 2 or 3 jobs while she's working on this blog, getting this information. Now she is really a CEO because she was open, she listened to people, and she made the products that people wanted, and they sold out. And they've grown really quickly. And this is only 7 years old. So she's a multimillionaire in 7 years. This is why marketing research is so important. This is why knowing your numbers, because when you don't know your numbers and you're trying to sell something and it ain't working out, it's because you've done something wrong. I've had lunches. I'll even talk about it. My second lunch, 2010, it failed. No one bought anything. I didn't do my research properly. I didn't even know how to quantify that market. It completely failed. But the book sales were still so strong that it was more of like, dang, man, versus like how I'm gonna pay the rent moment. It wasn't like that. But marketing is everything. Marketing is so important because this is how I know that when someone says, well, it was black people that supported Jordan that made Jordan, because black people did support Jordan, but no, it was little white kids because that was the marketplace. They were so big. How many white kids you saw wearing Jordan jerseys? How many white men you see wearing Jordan jersey right now? They made him. Also, let's get to the women. This is how I was able to do all those things with those women. I'm the product. I'm trying to sell myself to this marketplace. If I want to date white women, I wear a button down shirt. If I want to date black women, I let this grow out. And all my pictures, I look edgy like. If I want to date Asian women, straight up and look as smart as I can. Because I know what they're looking for and I can present that, I can be successful. But this is how many people market. Man, this is the best stuff ever. You don't buy, you just stupid. I call that shame marketing. It's like, I'm trying to help you out. It typically doesn't go over very well. But once you begin to know the marketplaces, when you get deep in the numbers, it's like you can print money when you know what the marketplace wants. Because once again, this channel, I've had several different demographics. Like my first demographic from 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, it started to change. It was 99% white dudes who was buying that storage auction book. That's who was buying it. I knew from the data. I was like, this is who buying it. And here's something else. How many of you been watching me for a while? How many videos have I done where I haven't shown my face in the early years? I do them all the time now. I do these podcasts and stuff. But back then, they knew who I was. They knew I was black. And they spent that. At first, the book was $19.99. They spent that. Then they knew that I was still black when the raised the price to $59.99. And they knew I was black when the book was selling for $99.99. They knew that I was black based upon Hotep. They ain't supposed to buy for no black person. They ain't gonna enrich a black person. Their job is to keep their foot on your neck and keep you down. So since this happened to me, and I know that it's not true, this is why I talk about it. And this, I'm speaking to my young people. I'm speaking to my folks who have not been indoctrinated with that crap. Because give you a good example, and this is a confession. I used to watch The Apprentice. I was hooked on that show. Before I didn't know Donald was a racist. I didn't know. And I could see, because I had business chops at that point, and I forget her name, but the thing was to go around town and make some money. And she turned it into, I'm going to do this thing for the black people of Harlem. That wasn't the task. And I was like, she's going to lose. I knew it instantly. Even before she started, she was going to lose. When Kwame didn't fire Omarosa, he lost. I knew this stuff. So when you start a business that is aimed to please people, that is aimed to placate people with no clear, solid financial plan, it's going to fail. This is why the pro blacks and the hotep movement's gonna fail. There's no solid economic marketing. There's no solid economic plan, and there's no marketing plan. The marketing plan is shame. You ain't with us, you're a coon. You ain't with us, you're a bed wench. That's the marketing plan. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. What is the punitive measure for not being the black person that black people want you to be? They're gonna point and laugh and call you names and shame you on Twitter. That's the penalty. That's the penalty. So if you're one of those weak-minded people that someone talks about you, it's gonna make you change your behavior. They own you, man. They own you. But the marketing is so important. The marketing is everything. This is why when I changed my business model from consulting to creating training and education products, I let my staff go because I didn't need them. The people I'm going to need in the future are going to have a whole set of different skills that they didn't have. And I would have to pay them a lot of money to train them on these new skills, which is crazy. So I just went ahead, reset, started over, and here I am. And this is something else too. Anytime I say that I was making a lot of money, then I switched over, people like don't understand that. It's like, man, if I was making that kind of money, I would be doing this. I would be doing this. And my question to them is like, why aren't you making that kind of money? It's the way you think. It's the way that you think. That's why you never make that kind of money. That's why you never make more in a month than most folks make all year long. Because the way you think, you skip stuff. Many people get into business with almost an entitlement mindset that you're entitled to other people's money. You got to earn other people's money. You got to earn it. When someone super chats me $2, I'm grateful. They didn't have to give me that $2. I take whatever I can get and be grateful for it, because when you're grateful for the $2, then you're going to be grateful for the 2,000. And you're going to be grateful for the 10,000. You're going to be grateful for the 50,000. You're going to be grateful for the 100,000. But if you're only grateful for the 100,000, don't you have to make $2 before you make 100K? Don't you have to bench press 150 before you bench press 170? Money works the same way. You can't leap over this to get to this. Most people can't. Some people can. Let me see what's going on here in the chat room. Because, I'm just having this little discussion because when people have the right information, they make better decisions. And there's a lot of false, emotionally driven stuff in terms of marketing, in terms of business, because like I said, my first Fit Summit, I met this guy who worked for Eastman Kodak in Tennessee. He was on the plane, and this was a brother. And he was just like, man, when you get to this level, you ain't gonna see that many black folks. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, and he just went on the list. He said the attitude, the mindset. And this was about 3 years ago. And he's right, but I see great promise and change because a lot of people are changing their mindsets. A lot of people are not listening to the pro blacks and the hoteps who, at the end of the day, what they want is a beautiful thing. The unity, the upward progression of black folks. But you can never do the right things with the wrong people. And they're trying to do the right things with the wrong people. There is a part of the black community that is savages, and they're never going to change. It's generation of this savage behavior, and they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep doing it, and keep doing it. And you can go out and give them the best information, but because you don't look like them, you don't talk like them, you don't bling like them, they're going to call you a nerd, a educated lame, and then they ain't going to listen to you. That is the biggest problem in the black community, because the people who can, Byron Allen. Yeah, I ain't listening to that corny dude. He married a white woman. What he know? Oh, he just bought the Weather Channel. He's been a multimillionaire for decades. Forget all that. Now, Master P, I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna listen to me some P. P keep it real. P keep it real. You have people who are so ignorant that they will turn down good advice because whoever has the advice doesn't fit their ideal concept of who should be giving the advice. Like this clown, let me I'm gonna show it to you. I don't think it'll have any sound, but let's see. Where is it? Did I oh yeah. Because this is what he aspires to. Okay, here we go. Now this is him talking about he has his car. He is using a lot of slang to the point you can barely understand him at sometimes, and he's showing off his Dodge Charger. Um, he's happy now. This is the person who was telling me I didn't know what I knew about living in this neighborhood. This is the person. You routinely, when I get this kind of hate and I go to the channel, this is the stuff I see. I see world star, world star, world star. Ignorant black folks, stupid human tricks. Now he's starting it up so you can hear the exhaust rumble. He's young, but this is what I deal with. This is what I deal with. I'm like, and I profiled him too. I profiled him before I checked out his YouTube channel, and I was like, spot on it. See, you got people who want to make money, but they want to make money in their persona, like Lil Wayne, P, uh, Plies. They want to be able to make money by being like that, even though many of these guys who act like that really are not like that in real life. Waka Flocka, I don't know how he presents most of the time, but when I sat next to him up into the Flying Biscuit, you would have thought you were talking to a PhD. He ain't like that in real life at all, not even close to it, right? But that's the image they sell. All right, so let me get into some of this chat. What's up, Perceptions Media? What's up, Mr. Good Vibrations? Roll Tide, Cool Breeze. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, because that is tomorrow. Ganja, yep, my mom came to the U.S. in the 1980s because the U.S. had a shortage of nurses. Of course, you would sell to a larger audience. Yes, exactly. Oh, you laugh at the you were there, since reality. You saw that. I mean, I was just sitting there like, really? Uh, the Honda Hurricane was a killer. Tax returns in the hood is a gold mine at 300 a person, 20 a week. Y'all knew that was some silly stuff, man. I was just like, this is what I deal with. What's up, King Nick? Oh, several crypto hedge funds are starting to capitulate. I wonder why. Literally, a lot of them invested in ICOs this year are now worth zero point 0.1 times their ROI standpoint. They took a that ain't even a bath. That's a blood bath. That's cutting and draining the pig. King Nick, Exhibit A, South Korean cryptocurrency token named Icon reached 12 at its all-time high in January, now worth 30 cents. I know folks who kept buying the dip all the way from $12. Dang. Ganja, the ghetto blacks will be extinct in the future and minimized to the point. No, no, they won't. No, they won't. Every every organism in the ecosystem has a use. They will still there will be there'll be more ghettos in the future. They will not go extinct. They will be behind the walls. They'll be looking in. Their kids will be growing up like, why my mom and dad didn't bust out? Why I'm living in this horror? Steve James did some research. 1860, only 8% of the population owned slaves. Thank you. You tell people that, and they're like, every white person had. Leroy. Christopher Levison always drive to those wealthy neighborhoods. I did too. That's what motivated me. I used to just like, man, this is great. This is awesome. Roadside Warriors. Gee, this guy has an investment firm, wants to raise 10 million. He wants 100 people with a FICO score of 720 or higher to open up a. Wait. This guy has an investment firm, wants to raise 10 million. He wants 100 people with a FICO score of 720 or higher, open up $100,000 line of credit and give him his firm. Wow. Yusuf, if 8% own slaves, then you know the truth is 10 million blacks were not enslaved. Let's see. Let me pop that out. Echo with a hell no. Good Lord, man. Cool Breeze, it's amazing how people base business models off the success of outliers. Oh, all day long. What's up, Mo Grizzly? Miss A. Austin. See, this is why I can't tolerate dealing with my own people sometimes. It's not all of the people, it's just some of the people. What's up, Chris Monroe? Zoe Morgan. I don't really know a lot about real estate wholesaling. I don't even know what, I kind of get the gist of it. I'm not going to be doing wholesaling. I'm going to be doing buy and acquire. Jordy, I worked in the moving industry for 8 years for other people. It still took a lot of research to have the confidence to launch on my own. Yeah, because if you're just a worker, you only know part of the business. You don't know everything. So yeah, it's still a lot to learn. What's up, Derek? If they say well, that whole thing was just a dig at me because I have the audacity to say the things I'm saying. All right, Mo Grizzly, good to go. Jordy, Troy Glover, the 3 S's, selling, service, solution. This is what the marketplace is looking for. Absolutely. Steve Jameson, stop it. Same things with rap. Black people claim it, but if you go to a concert, that's not the majority of the people. Steven, stop it. You coming in here with these facts, as they say in the streets. Dwayne Bryan. So everything revolves how you market. That goes for business in your bedroom in terms of getting absolutely. All right. Let's get into this. 2004. Oh no, actually 2002. I discovered the kinky stuff. And I started to write ads for the kinky stuff. Very niche market, right? Most trim I ever got from that demographic, which is supposedly really small. Most trim I ever got. Absolutely. NBA students had to watch The Apprentice. Really? Oh, dang, Jordy. My business would fail if I only marked them at black people. That's pretty. That's pretty. That's crazy. Seems like hoteps love committing self genocide. I think part of it is when you get into a hotep or pro black mindset, you see everything, and I mean everything, through that filter and through that lens. Where, like, what I did, go check out that last video, that last stream I did on disruptive mail, and I actually explained how people will miss something that is literally right in front of their face based upon where their attention is. Being the bartender, it's almost like playing. It's crazy, man. What's up, Guru James? Thanks for the $2 super chat. I know Steve Jameson. A lot of people would be wise to look at the moves Byron Allen is making versus the moves that Master P. Because see, another part of this is people want to make money cool. Being a rapper is cool. People want to be a ball player. Being a football player, NFL player is cool. You know, being an engineer, they ain't really that cool. I know, DJ. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Master, whoa, whoa. Master P? Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Master, whoa. Really? I gotta see this. Oh my damn. What? What? Master P's girlfriend reportedly bought him a Rolls Royce. He making her say, "Ah." Oh my god. Wow. I didn't damn. What did I say in that last stream about people who would never date a white woman, would be dating white women? What did I say? Master P came out and talked about that. It's like I'm down for my people. DJ Tyro, thank you for that. I talked about that in the last stream. You couldn't get no blacker than Master P. I'm a soldier. Make him say, you could get no blacker than Master P. Went on the stars, dancing with the stars. Hey, I'm holding it down for my people. Oh man. Thank you. You made my night, DJ. Maurice, that's an old Archer. Woo! The Crash Woman, just to let you know, I do these streams the way that I want to do them. If you don't like them, you can leave. That's me being polite. Let's see. Oh, it's gonna be nice. Being the bartender, young Jesus tells you to trap or die yet sends his kids to college. Oh man, that's good to be, Dorian. That's good to be. Sense of reality. Let's go back. As a person who lived under a single mom, the thing about position of leadership brings troop. Hated that crap. I'm telling y'all, man. I have not watched it, and as I have a policy of not commenting on other YouTubers, or because essentially I gotta watch it because I haven't watched it, so I don't even know what he had to say. Roadside Ward, man, that was crazy. All right, Ben. He just shopped in here. Thriller RA, no, I'm not doing the art of holding in hands. Maurice Anderson, engineers make more than athletes. Actually, many of them do. What's up, Rugged Collars? Marketing, see, the real money is in the dull shit. Emily Gloss, go ahead, read the blog, do a little research when she started. She worked on that blog for 3-4 years before she even tried to make any money, because you've got to get all of this data. And the data, it will teach you, it will tell you so much. This is how I make my predictions. I don't just go like, well, Bitcoin's going to crash because I feel in my bones. It was a very linear path of logic. Okay. I don't read technical charts, but I read marketplaces. I read the economy. The price of Bitcoin goes up when people buy Bitcoin. This is a fact. The more people who buy Bitcoin, the more people who invest in Bitcoin, the higher the price. I looked at who's going to buy Bitcoin. That's what I was looking at. Who's going to buy it? And I was right. Because I was like, okay, we got people who are not making any more money. We got people who are poor. Half the country makes less than 50K, that's single person income. Who's going to be buying all this Bitcoin? The whales already got it. The rich folks who are in it already there. So you need some new blood. You need some new stuff. Masterpiece still is spending that Ricky Williams money. Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna do a little research on it. What's up, Mogul Limitless, Tiger Shocks? Since reality, I will say that vanity is also in the African community. They're trying to show off. Our vanity is in white collar professions such as doctors, teachers, and engineers. If you do a business, anger erupts pretty much. Barry Watkins, I'm a tattoo artist and been tattooing for 6 years. Just got my first LLC after listening to your week. About to run it like a business now. Tattoo artists can make bank, especially if you become known for a certain style. I agree absolutely, Stephen Jameson. The new economy, the creators will be the stars. Kenneth N, paper bags, paper clips, nuts and bolts, not sexy but lucrative. Absolutely. Jordy, none of my peers supported my moving company, but everybody went crazy when I posted a picture of Twister. See, this is another thing. All right, here are some predictions based upon my market research. And I already see the splintering of black people. There's the progressive black people and there's non-progressive black people. I don't believe there's any ends. We don't use that word here. I don't like that word. And it's just too much of a slippery slope to call one group of black people this and other people are not this. Like Chris Rock, I thought he was just stupid as fuck for saying that. But you see the splintering off because the progressive blacks, number one, are tired of being shamed. If you are a black person who lives in a multi-million-dollar house, I can tell you have worked your ass off. So you got your house, but you have people who don't have this house who are talking shit about you and saying, well, it must be nice. Well, you should reach back and help other people and blah, 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 blah. I don't think y'all know how much energy and time it takes to get to that kind of money. Often these people don't just have it to give. They'll just stroke a check to a charity organization. That's just reality. You think it's just stubbornness? Pedro Del's Lemma. What you should do is start with Hustler Undergrad Redux. I think it's like 99 bucks a month. What I do is answer your question. First thing is beginning with the boss. That's what we start with. And then we'll get into some mindset courses because the mindset, the research, looking at certain things differently is so important before you even get to the money. But people are like, I'm broke, Lyndon. I hear you, man, but I need some money. Go below and get the free books for hustling. That's all I got for you. So, is that even here? Yeah. Hustler H Undergrad Redux, 99 bucks times 25 bucks. That link's below. You give direct access to becoming the boss and some live webinars that will be coming up next week. KC Family Vlogs, love what you do, giving them business. What do you feel about independent sneaker business? I'm going to tell you, even if I had the money, I would not get into the sneaker business. And this is the primary reason. I don't know the sneaker business. If you want to get into the independent sneaker business, you need to go work at a Foot Locker or someplace and learn the game, because there's what we see out here, but there's the inner workings of running a sneaker business. So get a job in that business. Raphael Richard, will billion-dollar companies in the next 10 to 20 years be more heavily taxed to fund universal basic income? I have no concept. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to pay for this, but I do believe it's going to come. Amari Sanderson is a slave mentality. So, we'll see. But for everybody that really wants to start a successful business, your money's going to be in your research. Your money's going to be in your marketplace or your audience. You need to get to know your audience. You need to use the same language that they use. Maury Sanderson, black people were mad at A.G. Gaston building a black company that hired black. A.G. Gaston, if it wasn't for him, the civil rights movement may have not gotten started. He mailed Martin out of jail. He gave all kinds of money. Wow. The Hectors, if you're black, you're supposed to act, talk, and behave a certain way according to the media and the keepers of culture. If not, you get branded not real black or not black enough. Another reason that there's the separation of the progressive blacks and the non-progressive blacks because of that crap right there. Not real black. You got ghetto people identify. You know what? You got the tail wagging the dog. You got ghetto black people determining who's black. And they do it with gusto. Troy Glover, you already left. I mean, seriously, this one of the reasons I do a lot of the stuff I do for the younger guys because let's talk about the dating of black women. There ain't nothing wrong with dating a black woman. You meet a woman, she likes your fire, date her. I don't care. However, why limit yourself to only black women? That's my issue. Don't date black women, but also date white girls and date Hispanic women, date Asian women. You exponentially increase your marketplace to sell you your product. There ain't nothing that believes that starts getting a group to act right than competition. I'm serious. This is why I talk about this stuff. Like I was like, well, I don't say don't date. When have you ever heard me say don't date black women? Never said that. I said date black women and other women. And I get so much pushback on that because I don't know what's up with some of y'all, but if you were like to sit in the room by yourself, music off, phone off, and just think about what I said about that, you'd be like, Roadside Wars with marketing can leverage outdo hustle. Nope. All right. Leverage still needs a few fundamental things to still work. Like, okay, leverage. Dang, what's his name? He was on Shark Tank. Damon John, Ashton Kutcher, and someone else. They all got together and put $7 million in this fashion brand and it flopped. They had leverage. They didn't know the marketplace as well as they should have. Oh, you like that video? Why I refuse to live in the hood? Living in the hood is one of the reasons that shaped many of my opinions. I'm just not doing it. I said that years ago because you got little beautiful kids who doing the right thing and they're going to become statistics in a few days, some tonight, because they live in the hood. They ain't done nothing wrong because you've got this savage element walking around the hood, don't care what they do to anybody. They don't care about themselves. They surely don't care about you. Corey Solomon, is it the same for marketing with a service business? So service business versus product. I have a side hustle as a mobile mechanic. So the marketing is the same for service business like mine? Absolutely not. One of the things that you should do, Corey, is talk to people who have bought your services already and ask them, why did you hire me? And start your marketing out like that. Give you an example. About 2001, 2002, I started a new marketing tactic. I started advertising bedroom sets with this kind of language. Hey, are you new in town and you need furniture? We deliver for free. Now, why did I do that? I talked to people who came in the shop and I started to notice that this phrase was used commonly. I just moved here. Hmm. So I started free delivery on washers and dryers, bedroom sets. A woman moves here by herself. She don't know anybody. She don't have a truck. She needs some used furniture. This was one of the biggest barriers to people buying used furniture. I got if they didn't have a truck and some strong bodies, it was just like ah. So by instantly advertising like that, sales shot up because I talked to my customers and I found out that a lot of people moved here. I used to sell to a lot of single women who had just moved to Atlanta. And because delivery was included, and whenever they started to try to haggle, I say, "Well, we could take the oh no, that's fine. How much?" That was my I could come down, but you ain't getting free delivery. You got to move it yourself. 404 trucker just started sneaker business, can't go wrong. Jordy. Growing up, I always had to prove my blackness because I grew up in the suburbs and got good grades. Hella fights for speaking a certain way. You know how many black men, like on O'Shea's channel and watch him, you know how many black men have said those very words about other black people? BGS Igmore, he even talked about it. You understand that you physically have people coming after you because you speak a certain way. Not that you touched them, not that you insulted their mom, but just because you speak a certain way, people are coming after you. You want to hang out with these people? You want to be friends with these people? I don't think so. Jordan, I failed all my classes, didn't do well on the test, and acted crazy. No one knew I was smart. That's another problem. You get kids from the suburbs who want to fit in and they do what Gun J did, holding themselves back. Steve Jameson, go to Home Depot and get your own delivery team, ladies. They weren't doing that. When you go to Home Depot and pick up some Lexus, they literally like boom, and they be on. They used to rock my truck. You know how intimidating that is for a woman in a car. They ain't doing that, man. Oh man, gotcha. They come after Donovan Sharp because of how he speaks and sounds, but he gives no fucks. It's crazy. Just speaking a certain way is enough to create anger and physicality. Your diction offends me. Camila, I see it all the time. Jordy, I shouldn't have to change who I am for friends. No, you shouldn't. This is why black people are splintering off. This is why this is a very real thing. This ain't me just saying this because of all of the hate and stuff that happened just because they spoke a certain way. I mean, I didn't get messed with because I was always big. So the people who wanted to bully me, I was bigger than them, and they're like, that ain't a good idea. And then when I started playing football, and I remember there were some guys who were saying I was soft, right? So we had the tackling dummy, and one of the guys who was kind of trying to, because they never put their hands on me, they just used to talk shit. He was holding the dummy. I took off. I hit him so hard, I knocked the breath out of that motherfucker. All of a sudden, all that shit, it just stopped. It's like, oh shit. It's just crazy. But the marketing is super important. And for some people who don't like how I put out information, that's cool. You're not going to get information in one podcast or one live stream or one video that you can use to change your life. It's a collective of videos and podcasts. The people who do the best have watched so many of these videos and they deployed the information. They've had success. They love Ti when he uses big words out of context, though. Justin Henry. Some girls used to say I spoke proper when I wouldn't use my Jamaican accent. Man, I mean that's an issue, and also and this is one of the things I hate that happens on these shows is when people act like that didn't happen. I don't know anyone that did that, really. And you have this level of duplicity that happens because when you don't hold people accountable, they're destined to repeat their offenses. I mean, it is sad. It's really sad. But part of building a business, you've got to get that marketing component down. You got to know who your marketplace is, or if you're doing a service, you got to know who your audience is. Disruptive mail. I, I did my research. I looked at what other people were doing. I did something different. My audience is 99% male on that channel. Every now and then I get a woman that'll slide through with some slick stuff, but mostly it's dudes. And it was designed that way because there's not a lot of places where men can have those kind of conversations. I can't even really have them all on YouTube. That's why I had to have private conversations. Man, ASOD, people are moving like you because this is something a lot of people really hate this because I see shows and it's like, well, there's only like 2 or 3% black men married to white women. I'm like, okay. Some people will say that ain't a snake until it bites them, and it ain't poisonous until they're about to die. That's what a lot of people are doing. I can tell you from personal experience, under 30 is probably it's a two-digit percentage point. You want to know how I know? When I put my ding-a-ling in all these little young white girls, I wasn't the first one to put my dang-a-ling up in there. You can approach a white woman under 30, and more than likely, if she finds you attractive, she gonna date you. You ain't even have to have that conversation. Do you date black dudes? Huh? Hmm. If she think you cute, she gonna date you. It's just that simple. Green machine. How do you research a market? You start with the Google machine. Steve Jamerson, Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, and Gary Vee, same message, just different lanes. They market to different niches. Yeah, Gary Vee's going after all the kids. Grant Cardone's going after the people with the money, and Ty Lopez is going for the more aged people, not the kids. Justin Hendry, in the past, they have seen half of the brothers. I don't know where these dudes are living because a lot of people are in denial. What you're going to see is the progressive blacks are going to blend in with the progressive other groups, and only people in 20 years who are going to be talking about a black person marrying or dating a white woman will be ardent racist. I don't even know what's going on with 6ix9ine. I have no clue. But it's the marketing, man. You really got to do it. Now, to Green Machine's question, first of all, you got to set some stuff up. Whether you want to sell, because many people find a product that's hot and they call that their market research. That is bullshit. That is not your market research. So let's go back to me. Say I wanted to date Asian women. What would be the first thing I would do? I would find some Asian women and I would start talking to them. First thing I would do is like, what do you like in a man? Like, I don't like one of my guilty pleasures is I go get my nails done because I hate doing them myself. And they're all Asian. And there's one, she likes me. You know why she likes me? Because I've been messing with her. Every time I come in here, it's like you get smaller. Are you losing more weight? No, 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 no. I just lost 5 pounds. Her face beamed like she was the sun. She gives me extra rub down and everything. She talks to me. She walks me to the door. I've not once asked her, "Do you date black guys?" I know she's single. So the first thing is go out and talk to people. You don't have to talk to a bunch of people. You just have to find some people of that marketplace and start talking to them so you can start forming your first marketing set. And your marketing set is, what are you going to say? What are you going to do to get these people to buy your product? And then you're going to run a lot of tests. You're going to ask a lot of questions of that market. You got people. I have a friend who almost went out of business because he was using Facebook ads to test stuff. I said, dude, if you pick up the phone and talk to 50 people, you're going to get more information than running those Facebook ads. No, man, that's what it is. That's where it is. And then he was forced. Yeah, no money. Thanks, Jordy, for the $5 super chat. He was forced to actually follow my advice. And he was spending $1,000 a day on Facebook ads. So he got on the phone, he started talking to people, wrote completely different copy using what he said, and he started making $1,500 to $2,000 a day without Facebook ads. Marketing, man. Marketing. I know, Justin. Caveman game. That is funny. You don't even have to ask. Yes, Camilla, a day. Oh, I know one guy, he's spending like $5,000 a day on YouTube ads. They have these complicated funnels and stuff like that. The money's to be had. And this is why I was telling you and putting out that you guys have got to start now. Right? You see the meltdown in the stock markets. You see the reduced demand in gas and oil. That is not good. Why is reduced demand in gas and oil? In many parts of the country, it's winter. Oil demand and gas demand is down, and we're moving into winter. That means that corporate and industrial gas has been reduced so much that it has not created a huge demand for oil and gas, which would have raised the prices. This is winter in many places. And so that's the thing. I appreciate that, Justin. All right. So for those of you who are down here who want the uncivilized profits, it's below, it's expensive. And for those of you who want to get into H undergrad, not the Redux, I think you should do Redux. But if you don't want Redux, you want access to everything, I'm going to have a special Friday. There will be a special Friday. And I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. I may do some streams. I may not. I really don't know. Pedro, yes, it normally does, but it's been reduced because corporate demands for gas and stuff is way down. Way down. All right, so just think about what I said. Just absorb it, ponder it, and realize if you want to grow a long-term business, you're going to have to conduct adequate marketing. So with that, I'll see you guys later.